Hello, Captains. This is the Doctor, and it's Tuesday, July 18th, 2017. And Cryptic has released Season 13.5 to Star Trek Online. So this is going to be the first part of my normal three-parter kind of videos I do when a new season is introduced. This is the game update news video where I'm going to read all the news from the webpage about Season 13.5 and what to expect. Then I'll make another video where I go in the game and do a what to do video. We're going to take a look at the new things that are there so we can see where to go do them and what all that entails. And then I'll make further videos taking a look at things a little deeper later on, like the Endeavor system. And then I'll make a third video that's going to play the new featured episode, which I'm very excited about, of course. We always seem to get a new featured episode with every season now. So I will play that. It's called Brushfire, and that will be a lot of fun. But this is the first part of all these videos to come. So, of course, subscribe, stay tuned, and you'll see a lot more videos about Season 13.5 and the featured episode series, and we'll go more in-depth on things like the Endeavor system. But first, this is the news page, Star Trek Online. There's a lot of announcements here. Well, not actually a whole lot, but a few more announcements. Now, if you haven't seen my original Season 13.5 game news announcement, go watch that video first. I'll link it in the top right corner, because that actually goes over several of the things that are not shown here, like the Endeavor system, and it talks about some of those things that are going to be in the game. But this is some further things that have been announced in the game also. So this is the official Welcome to Season 13.5 news post on the webpage. There's a developer vlog. You can watch that. I'm not going to play it here, but you can go check that out. And it says Season 13.5 has come to PC, Captains, and it's bringing with it a ton of revelations and new experiences in the Star Trek universe. A ton, huh? Underline a ton there. Yeah, I don't think it's a ton, but I think there's a few. In our newest featured episode, Brushfire, players will enter a secret prison in the Briar Patch, where House Torg holds their most hated prisoners. That can't mean anything good for Martok, played by J.G. Hertzler in his first role in Star Trek Online. You will join forces once again with Rodek, voiced by Tony Todd, on an epic Klingon adventure to rescue Martok and return him to the Alliance. There are some amazing moments and a fantastic story being told that you won't want to miss out on. In addition to the story content, Season 13.5 will include an expansion of the existing Admiralty system through our new Ferengi campaign. I like how they call that an expansion when really they've just added one new campaign to the Admiralty system. It's sounding a little exaggerated there, I believe. Captains will be able to send their ships on lucrative missions to far-off locations and find out if they truly have the lobes for business. Remember rule of acquisition number 75, home is where the heart is, but the stars are made of latinum. We are also proud to introduce the Endeavor system, which will issue you a challenge to complete nearly every other day. You will be challenged to experience the depth and breadth of Stowe while earning exciting rewards with every endeavor you complete. Now, I actually have a lot to say about this Endeavor system, and I'm not going to go into detail here in this video, but there are some revelations that I have found out about this Endeavor system. I actually have already logged into the game to get a little more information about what this Endeavor system really is, and I have a lot to say about it. I'm not going to say it in this video, because that's not the scope of this video, but stay tuned for the next video where I go over the what to do stuff in the game, and I'll talk more about the Endeavor system in that video, because I do have a lot to say about it. You'll just have to wait and see. Season 13.5 has a great story content and a fantastic update to an existing system in the Ferengi Admiralty campaign, and brand new Endeavor system designed to give you regular rewards. I look forward to seeing you in game. So these are very small updates. It says at the very beginning, a ton of revelations and new experiences. I don't think it's so much a ton as it is a small, tiny amount. They are exaggerating quite a bit here. This is a very small update. Now, if it had come out as part of Season 13, then Season 13 would have seemed a little bit better in my opinion. But as an update on its own, this is small. But anyway, it is what it is. That's what we get. That is season 13.5 in a nutshell. So we've got a new featured episode to play, so that's always fun. You don't forget that. It's called Brushfire. I'm not going to read over this whole story here. This may give away spoilers. I have not read this yet, but I don't want to read it out loud in case there are spoilers here, because I don't want to be spoiled. But I will play the mission and then maybe come back and read this myself. But I'll just go over the bottom part here. As the Zenkethi threat menaces the Alpha Quadrant, a new hope presents itself in the Beta Quadrant. On Tuesday, July 18th, experience our latest featured episode, Brushfire, and seek out the aid of one of history's greatest Klingon generals. Brushfire comes out with Season 13.5 and continues our New Frontiers storyline. It includes great rewards that you can earn over the course of several weeks. For a limited time, it will be available to all players level 10 and up. Romulan players must have selected a faction, however. After this, it will be in your normal mission journal progression. So, definitely looking forward to playing that new mission. Very Klingon-oriented this time. Still hopefully dealing with the Zenkethi, I hope, in some way, because we've still got this lingering storyline there. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I'm going to play that. I will do that. I probably might not be able to get to this video today, but if not today, then tomorrow I will record that video for you all. And I'm looking forward to play it. I want to turn off all the lights, you know, get into the mood, and get a cold drink and, you know, just play the mission and get into it. So that'll be a lot of fun. And I don't want to be spoiled, so I'm not going to read any of that. But let us do see what the reward's going to be, because I do want to know that. Each week we'll roll out a new reward for the featured episode Brushfire. The first completion of the mission on an account will get you the featured episode weekly reward box. Of course, you get the enhanced universal tech upgrade or a captain specialization point. That is by account, which and you choose it once on the account, and then you have it, but you can trade it to your other tunes if you need to. So let's see, the specialization box requires the opening character to be level 50 or above. House Martok has made their tried and battle-tested defense configuration console available in appreciation of your assistance. This console's defensive configuration was proven during Martok's engagement with the Zenkethi. It boasts increased survivability and mobility, while also boosting power towards shields and engines. Captains who acquire this engineering console will find their ship's mobility and shielding potentially increased. So that's what we're getting, is an engineering console for your ship. So this is a space item. The House Martok Defense Configuration Console is part of the House Martok Skirmisher configuration set. Collect additional pieces from this set to unlock powerful set bonuses. So this is going to be part of a new gear set in space, a console set, probably a console, and usually how this works is they do like one console and then two of them are weapons, although they could change that. So expect something like that for this. And they're not giving us all the bonuses here, but it says two-piece bonus increases critical chance and accuracy. So that's what you get with two of these pieces when they're out, chance and accuracy. And then the three-piece bonus, let's see, the three-piece bonus applies specific advantages to next week's reward. So we don't know what that is yet, so we'll have to wait till next week's reward to see what the three-piece bonus will be. So this is an engineering console. It's going to make you more mobile, and it's going to enhance your shield. And with two of these things on, or two of the set on, it's going to give you more critical chance and accuracy. So we'll take a look at that, you know, when we get the reward and see what those what the numbers are on that. But that's what it is. That's what you're getting. So you can decide if that's useful for your ship or not. All right. Another thing that I found while looking over the news is that there is a new lockbox. They've got a Sona lockbox. The Sona were introduced in Star Trek Insurrection. And I was waiting for this. I knew eventually one day we'd have to see some Sona stuff. So I guess we're getting it in lockbox form. I'd rather see a storyline with a Sona. That would be actually very interesting to see what happened after, you know, they reintegrated with their peoples on that planet or whatever. I would love to see a post post-insurrection follow-up to the Sona. That would actually be very good. Their technology was extremely advanced, maybe more advanced than the Federation was, and they used subspace weapons, which they shouldn't have, but they did, and they weren't afraid to. So I would actually like to see what happened to the Sona. I would like a storyline about that, to be honest with you. But anyway, we're getting a Sona lockbox, or we've got a Sona lockbox now. Sonas remain at the forefront of medical technology, as well as being in possession of incredibly powerful sensor and energy absorption knowledge from their subspace usage. Season 13.5 brings captains back to the Briar Patch, fighting, among other foes, the Sona. Does it really? Are we going to meet the Sona? Maybe Brushfire deals with the Sona? I don't know. I guess I'll have to play it and find out. I'm not sure now. The Sona, made infamous by Star Trek Insurrection. However, this time around, the Alliance has had close to half a century to study the technology and tactics of the Sona's use, to learn both how best to counter their insidious tactics and which of the best of their own tricks can be used against them. The fruits of this labor can be obtained from the Sona lockbox. Characters may find themselves fortunate enough to win the Sona Command Science Vessel Tier 6. Sona Command Science vessels represent the bulk of their fleet. In combat, these ships often find a balance between debilitating their foes and supporting their fellow combat vessels. Sona's Command Science vessels come equipped with the Console Universal Deep Analytic Sensor Package. When activated, it emanates a field 3 kilometers in every direction, which lasts a moderate duration. All allies within the field, including yourself, are granted increased shield penetration and armor penetration as long as they remain within the field. Meanwhile, all foes within the field will have one beneficial effect removed every second. That's pretty cool. But it's 3 kilometers. That's very close. That means your enemy has to be like right on you. But to your allies and yourself, increased shield penetration and armor penetration is very nice. It also provides a passive boost to maximum auxiliary subsystem power, control expertise, and shield hardness. This sounds like this could be a very good science ship. I like this. Alright, there's a trait also called Kick Them While They're Down. Activating any foe-targeted control bridge officer ability on any enemy that is affected by a control ability will grant you an increase to critical chance for a moderate period of time. Okay. The release of the Sona lockbox also brings the Sona Intel Battlecruiser Tier 6, so another Intel ship, this time a Sona Intel ship, to the low-buy store. These powerful vessels are the vanguard of the Sona fleet, capable of withstanding heavy fire and simultaneously undermining their foe's ability to put up a strong fight, all without sacrificing offensive power. Sona Intel Battlecruisers come equipped with the Console Universal Subspace Barrier Agitator. Building from their knowledge of dangerous subspace weaponry, the Sona developed a specialized piece of deflector technology capable of analyzing localized space near an enemy to find weak points in the barrier between normal space and subspace. Then, using an automated quantum drill, these weak points are violently torn open to create volatile anomalies that will seek out enemies and damage them while draining their subsystem energy. Okay, and it also provides a max shield system power, drain expertise, and shield capacity. And then the trait is called the Subspatial Warheads. Damage caused by your high-yield torpedoes and transport warheads will cause a subspace tear to form near the damaged target. This anomaly will chase down the nearest foe, causing physical damage and draining engine subsystem power to enemies and encounters. Okay, so a lot of subspace-based powers on these ships. In addition to the ships listed above, the Sona lockbox also contains the Console Universal Sensor Burnout. This power console passively strengthens your drain abilities and increases your chance to critically hit foes, and in addition comes with a powerful active ability that burns out the sensors of foes in front of you. But there's more to the Sona lockbox than just ships and their associated equipment. Not all of the Baku embraced their technology-free lifestyle. Some chose to join Alliance worlds and lend their skills. These brave Baku are available for the Baku Duty Officer Cadre, which features a number of popular duty officer roster active powers. So you also have genetic resequencers, ground traits, invigorating radiation. After taking radiation damage, you heal over time and remove all debuffs. Introspection, while you remain stationary, you gain an increase to outgoing damage and regeneration rate at the cost of resistance rating. And Space, repair cruise. While in combat, you gain stacking hull resistance and regeneration boost and reconstructive radiation. After taking radiation damage, you heal over time and remove all debuffs. The Alliance's best have also been experimenting with and adapting the Sona technology and the technology used against the Sona for more varied users, and some of the fruit of the labor is new kit modules. Transport Inhibitor. While active, the Transport Inhibitor field will grant dodge chance and teleport immunity to all allies in range, and prevent foes from beaming in fabrications or allies to assist them. Stasis Drone summons a drone that will place enemies in stasis fields and attack others with radiation damage. An Isolation Field Generator deploys a fabrication that stealths all enemy allies while they remain out of combat. Entering combat will give you a short duration damage bonus but will cancel the stealth. Rounding out the offerings of new equipment will be new unique space and ground weaponry. When opened, each Isolytic Plasma weapons pack will offer the player a choice between space beam weapons, space cannon weapons, or ground weapons. Isolytic Plasma weaponry has a chance to deal plasma damage to the target and pull enemies toward the target hit. The Low-Buy store has also had a handful of new entries. The Advanced Isolytic Plasma Dual Beam Bank, Advanced Isolytic Plasma Cannon, Advanced Isolytic Tri-Cobalt Torpedo Launcher, and Console Universal Weapon System Enhancer are all part of the Sensor Modifications set. So another whole set in the Low-Buy store, Sensor Modification Set. The advanced isolytic weapons, in addition to their normal effects, have additional armor penetration every time they critically hit, and have a high amount of innate critical chance. Combining two pieces of this set will grant an increase to Tri-Cobalt projectile damage and plasma-directed energy weapon damage, and combining three pieces of the set will grant boost to your kinetic damage resistance rating, weapon specialization, and hull penetration. So a new plasma set to work with there. Kind of sounds interesting. For those captains more minded toward fashion, the Sona outfit is available to all captains in all factions and will allow you to have a similar look to that of the Sona in Insurrection. So now you can look like a Sona. All in the Low-Buy store. Quite a bit of stuff there to look at and go over, actually. We'll have to take a look at that in the Low-Buy store. And then here's the stats of the Sona ships. Here's the Science Vessel, Tier 6. 44,000 hull at level 60, 1.285 shield modifier, 343 aft, 1 lieutenant commander tactical, 1 lieutenant engineering, 1 lieutenant science, 1 commander science / command. Interesting, a full command seating there too, or a lieutenant universal / intelligence seating. 3 tactical, 3 engineering, 5 science, 15 degrees per second turn rate, plus 10 to engine power and auxiliary, and all the unique stuff that comes with it. And deep analytics sensor package, we kind of went over all that. The Starship trait, that's all cool. And then the Intel battle cruiser. See, 50,000 level 6, 1.35 shield modifier, 4 weapons, 3 aft, 1 lieutenant commander tactical, 1 lieutenant engineering, 1 commander engineering / intelligence, 1 lieutenant science, and 1 lieutenant universal / command. 4 tactical, 4 engineering, 3 science, 10 degrees a second, plus 10 to weapon power and shield power and engine power. And then all the unique stuff with that. So there's some interesting ships here to try out. We went through these things already. The consoles. Console set bonus, Briar Patch Explorer. Equipping both the Deep Analytics Sensor Package and the Subspace Barrier Agitator on a single vessel grants you the following passive bonuses. Plus 20 damage with plasma weapons, plus 10 hull regeneration. Wow. Okay, well, that's a lot to go over right there and absorb. But basically, 2 new Sona ships, but they're lockbox. Well, one is lockbox, one is Low-Buy. So one you have a chance to get, but you probably have to spend your life fortune in order to gamble to get it. The other one, you can just open a whole lot of lockboxes, get a lot of Low-Buy, and hopefully purchase that one in the Low-Buy store. So both are kind of difficult to get, honestly. Takes a lot of keys, a lot of lockbox opening, and yada, yada, yada. But that's what you get, and we get some new gear sets to look at, space sets there. I don't see anything on ground, so it looks to be all space this time around. There were some kit modules, but other than that, there's no ground sets to work with, just space sets with the Sona. So those are the two Sona ships we're getting right now. Interesting. I don't know why we're getting Sona right now, unless maybe it's in the featured episode and I just don't know it. Wouldn't that be a surprise? So we'll see. Lastly, here's the PC patch notes for the patch that just came out today. This just kind of briefly goes over the new things they've added so that you're familiar with what you can do in the game when you go look at it. But you've got the new featured episode Brushfire. Captains, let's see, need to be level 10 captains and above to play it. You've got the Endeavor system. It's a new limited time challenge where players gain rewards by completing missions, which are automatically granted every couple of days through the new Endeavor system. These will appear on the player's mission tracker and will switch out on their own. You can check out this page here to click on these links and go read the blogs about these things, but I did go over these before in a previous video. Ferengi Admiralty campaign, basically just another Admiralty campaign, this time Ferengi. Pretty simple. In an effort to prove performance, cloud-like visual effects from certain powers will no longer be visible if within a minimum distance. All other behavior associated with the powers remain unchanged. This FX update will affect the following abilities: eject warp plasma, vent theta radiation, eject tetrion plasma, eject metreon gas, coolant ignition, particle emission plasma torpedo, the cool plasma torpedo, vent metreon lace plasma, and nadion saturation bomb. Basically what they're doing is, I guess they found performance with this ability is pretty bad, and so basically they're just reducing the visual quality. If they reduce the distance, that means the farther away you are, you're not going to be able to see these things, the effects of these things, simply because they've turned it off at longer distances, and that will increase performance. So another visual downgrade is the way I look at it. Resolved an issue while wearing the 23rd century Klingon sleeveless uniform. Resolved an issue where windows on the bottom of the Negvar. Resolved an issue where most of the Karfi. Resolved an issue where the heavy cruiser. Improved appearance of the Borg console visuals with the Phoenix shuttle. 23rd century Starfleet characters now have appropriate ground shield FX. So just a few fixes there on some things. Systems. These are all just going to be fixes here. Resolved an issue that caused some duty officers, blah, blah, blah. Singularity Warp Shadows has been redesigned slightly. Warp Shadows can now be damaged. While Warp Shadows are attacking a non-player target, the target is prevented from attacking the Warp Shadow creator. Singularity Jump kinetic damage now scales with the exotic particle generator skill and kinetic damage buffs. Resolved an issue. Changed fire on my mark stealth debuff values. Resolved an issue. Added a missing engine trail to the Romulan Vastum Command Warbird. Resolved an issue. The mission drop section of the Arbiter Battlecruiser will now deactivate its ability armor when not in combat. Power tray updates. Added support for up to 10 rows or columns to the space power trays. Absolutely. That's awesome. Finally, they're giving us more rows and columns. Okay, I'm going to look at that because I actually find that a big update they should have made a bigger deal out of. I've always had trouble trying to keep all my powers within the default 3 rows that you get in your space tray hotbar at the bottom, and then you can add that one vertical tray on the right side, and through that I've had enough. But I would like to have more vertical rows. That would be quite nice. So I'm going to look at that actually. I find that to be one of the bigger updates they should have made something to do about. I think that's a very good update. If I'm reading that correctly, then that's a good update. I'm going to go take a look at that. Added support for rotating both power trays by 90 degrees. That's good. And for 2 horizontal trays or 2 vertical trays. Okay, I love this. This is something right here they should have made a bigger deal about. This is a good update. The space power tray settings will now be hidden when clicking outside the buttons. The space power tray settings now indicate which settings are active. added a separate option to toggle the fire all buttons independent of how many tray rows there are. If a single tray row is selected, then it will only show fire all weapons. The fire all buttons are only available for horizontal trays. Resolved an issue or unlocking a trait, blah blah blah, resolved an issue, resolved an issue, resolved an issue, and resolved an issue. Well, I like the space tray updates already. That I find to be pretty big news, honestly. They should have made a whole section just about that, to be honest with you, because that's kind of big. People might not know that. They might come in here on this update and not even know the space trays have been updated. That could help a lot of players right there, honestly. Content. Echoes of Light core sampling of the second comet is no longer timed, but instead completes as soon as the player has collected enough material. Fluid dynamics. Adjusted allied ships so they should move more quickly to aid player when engaging the Borg. Now, that's been a long time coming. They've really needed that for a long time now. Borg Command Diamond should no longer flee at high speed. Good. Dragon's Deceit resolved an issue that sometimes caused Gaelic to be stuck under the ground. Resolved an issue where the core assault advanced rewards listed that it rewarded Iconian marks instead of fleet marks. Known issues. The loadout slot options will appear as if nothing is selected after selecting one and transitioning to a map. This does not affect the positions of slotted powers from the loadout. I'm actually really liking these tray updates here. I'm going to go take a look at all this because this is really cool stuff here. And I think they should have made a bigger deal about that so more players know about it. So I'm paying a little extra time and attention to it right now so that you players watching this video will know about this update. There you go. You see it. I'm going to take a look at it, and in the what to do video, I'm going to take a look at it there as well and see if we can now add more rows, because more rows and vertically or horizontally, because that's going to be a big deal, I think. Well, there you go, everybody. That is season 13.5. So not a ton of stuff. Pretty much what we thought we were going to get. Nothing too unknown there except for the space tray updates. I didn't see that coming. Everything else I pretty much saw coming, except, well, I guess the Sona lockbox. Didn't see the Sona coming, but now we got Sona stuff. So that's cool. Another thing from the original series, you know, movies or whatever in the game. So that's really cool. Another voice actor has joined the game too, so that's cool. Can't wait to play the new featured episode. That's going to be fun. And that's about all I got for today's Season 13.5 news update. Now you know what all the new stuff is, so you can go into the game and enjoy it. In the next video, I'm going to actually go in the game and look at these updates now. We're going to see what the Endeavor system is. I'm going to talk about it. Like I said, I got a lot to say on it. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to go look at where the new featured episode is. I'm going to look at the space tray updates. We're going to look at the Ferengi Admiralty update. All the new stuff here. We're just going to go take a look at it in the game and see what we can do and where we go to go do all the stuff so that you know what to do with Season 13.5 now that it's out. So, thank you all for watching this video and stay tuned for the next one.